Welcome to the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living. Let's get started.
Gonna go with the moment. Gonna feel so free. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna go with the moment. Gonna feel so free. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna go with the moment. I'm gonna feel so free. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna go with the moment. I'm gonna feel so free. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny.
All right. Happy Sunday, everybody. And welcome to the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living, all of you that are here in the room with us, and our spiritual family watching in our virtual sanctuary. My name is Linda Brewer, and I am so privileged that I get to share with you a bit about who we are and what's coming up here in our center. So thanks for being here. Love streamers, please say hi so we know you're there with us. Thanks. Our practitioners serving in today's service are Myrna Hurst, who will be sharing a reading and a time of sacred silence before leading us in prayer, and Therrell Hinckley, who is over there holding high watch, knowing throughout this time that the best and highest is unfolding for our center. Our center is a spiritual community that teaches a philosophy for daily living based on spiritual principles and practices that are universal among religions. We honor every pathway by which people seek to know and connect with the divine, and we work on our individual consciousness so that we can help make the world a better place. So please join me in saying with feeling our purpose statement. We are an open, welcoming community celebrating our divinity, loving our humanity, and nurturing our journeys of spiritual discovery. Thank you. Our theme for this month is Letting It Go, and Reverend Cindy's talk is called One Step at a Time, Action. And for our special music, we are so very blessed to have our own amazing lead guitarist, Rory Norseth, or as he so wrongly calls himself, the no-account drifter. You count with us, honey. I think you've outgrown it. All right, it's the third Sunday of the month, and that means it's Birthday Sunday, where we celebrate all of our August birthdays. So if you are one of those people with an August birthday, please stand up so we can recognize you. You cannot see him, but Rob Ekman is also standing up in Illinois because today is his birthday. So everybody say hi to Rob. We miss you and Steve. All right, do we have any first-time visitors today? I won't forget the cake. Do we have any first-time visitors today? If so, here we go. Anybody else? Here, somebody else? We are so happy to have you here with us. We welcome you and we celebrate you, and we affirm for you that you will experience a blessing here this morning, and we affirm that for everybody in the room. So thanks for being here. As always, you can find out all the details about what's coming up on our website, spirituallyfree.org, where you can also ask for prayer, find out a lot more about the things I tell you the short bit about. You can also learn about our philosophy, our history, prayer requests, sign up for classes, and you can find the link to our YouTube page where you can watch years of our services with our music videos exempted. I mean, brought out, not exempted. They're there all by themselves is what I'm trying to say. So if you just love a song, go find it, it's there. All right, you can also find out most of these things in the hall with our hospitality table. With the added benefit is that you can ask our amazing hospitality team any questions that you have. All right, our in-person summer school class based on the energy codes by Dr. Sue Morter, has 2 more weeks to go, and since these are standalone classes, you haven't missed out. You can still go. So we've got 2 more weeks, this Wednesday and next Wednesday from noon to 1:30. It's being co-led by Reverend Cindy and Kathy Hughes, and it's in our first 4 classrooms. So there's more information, all those places. And it's also not too late to join in the election intention, the morning phone message. You sign up, you get a call every morning, or in my case, it's always a voicemail because they call before I'm out of bed. And it helps us to know together the best and highest good for our election that's coming up, to help recognize and remember our oneness and to help bring peace and unity to our country. So please join us and help us share that vision. And we're still looking for a team of folks to stay after service to help us with getting the coffee cups that y'all leave behind and vacuuming up the crumbs and stuff. We'd love to have at least enough people so that everybody can do it only once. Doesn't take a very long time, and it would be a great service. So, is Donna here? Yes, please see Donna Mirabelli or sign up. She's back there. Or sign up at the hospitality table. Also, for those of you who love our Center's wonderful classes, please save the date because Advanced Consciousness Studies begins September the 19th. This class has 3 terms. It ends in mid-May, and everyone who has taken foundations is eligible to take the class. And anyone on the path to become a professional practitioner, this takes the place of what we used to call Prac 1. So if you're on that path, you want to be sure and get into this class. And if you don't know if you're on that path, you can take it anyway and just see how it works for you. So it will be led on Thursday nights by Reverend Cindy and a different practitioner each of the 3 terms that happen. So you get to experience a lot of those things. It's a hybrid class. That means it will be online and in person. And so we'll have flyers and registration next week to begin doing that. And today, after our service, we will have birthday cake. So please stick around and have some birthday cake with us. All right, so as I always do, I remind you that our center was founded on and it is grounded in prayer. Our professional prayer practitioners spend years training in the art and science of affirmative prayer so that they can know for you anything that you may be struggling to recognize as divine purpose unfolding in your life. and they will help to know that for you until you can know it for yourself. So they're available at the practitioner room across the hall right after the service, and I encourage you to take advantage of that. It will change your life doing that. So now I want to invite you to allow the centering music to connect you with that spirit that lives within you, and open our hearts to receive Myrna's reading, our time of sacred silence, and her prayer.
Good morning. Today's reading is from a reading by Elizabeth Gilbert, who was the author of the series Little House on the Prairie. So I kind of enjoy this. I did. Some years ago, she wrote, I was stuck on a bus in New York City during rush hour. Traffic was barely moving. The bus was filled with cold, tired people who were deeply irritated with one another. Ever been there? Two men poked at each other about a shove that might or might not have been intentional. Rage was in the air. As the bus approached 7th Avenue, the driver got on the intercom. Folks, he said, I know you have had a rough day. I can't do anything about the traffic, but here's what I can do. As each one of you gets off the bus, I will reach out my hand to you. As you walk by, drop your troubles into my hand. Okay? My route goes by the river, so I will throw your troubles in the water. It was as if a spell had lifted. People were suddenly grinning at each other like, is this guy serious? Oh, he was serious. Just as promised, the driver reached out his hand. One by one, commuters mimed the gesture of dropping something into his palm. We live in a hard world. There are times when everything seems to be cloaked in darkness. You long for the light, but don't know where to find it. But what if you are the light? That's what this bus driver taught me. That guy wasn't some big power player. He was a bus driver, one of society's most invisible workers. We've got one of our own here, you know. But he possessed real power, and he used it beautifully for our benefit. No matter who you are, or where you are, or how tough your situation may seem, you can illuminate your world. In fact, I believe that this is the only way the world will ever be illuminated. One bright act of grace at a time, all the way to the river. Let's move into this silence for a couple of minutes. Now, for just a moment, please notice the feeling in this room. The presence of the divine right here in and is each one of us. And the way in which being together expands this feeling of joy, of love. Let's move into prayer. I begin by being so grateful for the feeling in this room, for each individual soul who comes here, for the way in which we love each other, the way in which that love moves into the universe, that we make beautiful changes in this community and in the world. I'm grateful for the leadership of this church, those who teach us and lead us and provide the beauty of music. And I know that each part of this is God in expression. That same divine power that created everything that is and creates every day lives within each one of us. And as we know that that power is there as we create our lives. And so right now we choose to do so deliberately. I know for this day that wherever you are and wherever you go, you take with you this divine, sweet power, and that it spreads out across the world. That each of us touches everyone we meet. And as we shower our peace and our power, we receive theirs as well. This is so good to know. And we hold this in our hearts all day, all week, perhaps forever. I accept this lovely thought, this lovely power, and know that my life changes lives, as do we all. So we speak these words and the universe takes over and the work is done. And we just simply need to breathe and deep gratitude accept all of this good. And let it be. As together we say, and so it is.
All right, sing along with us. Into your hands.
Your
Thank you. So as he's getting out what he needs for his number, we present Rory. I know a secret about this dude. He is, he's an artist of many kinds. And construction, I would say, is one of those. He has an electric hand dryer in one of his bathrooms.
Yeah,
And I thought, how cool is that? Is that okay to present this musician here to share? Anyway, it's done, so there you go.
Well, I'm so honored to get to sing this with Rory today. I'm so excited. Rory, as you know, is a composer, composing all the time, and this song took him only like a month to finish. And he showed it to Rick, and Rick said, "That's really sweet. I've never thought of you as sweet."
Something like that. Yeah.
This is called Lover's Waltz.
Thank you, Dylan. And thank you for singing with me.
Yeah.
You molded a song for me. You're more like a symphony, written in 1, 2, 3, like an old lover's waltz.
I've given my heart to you. You've given me your heart too. Hearts dancing in love, so true, like an old lover's waltz.
They say love's a mystery, one you can solve with me, easy as ABC, just the birds and the bees. They say love's a tragedy, a star-crossed soliloquy, yet awash in love's mystery, we dare to cheat destiny. Well, I've written this song for you.
You've added the lyrics new, embracing it two by two, as an old lover's waltz.
They say love's a mystery, one you can solve with me, easy as ABC, just the birds and the bees. You're more than a song for me, you're more like a symphony, written in 1, 2, 3, like an old lover's waltz.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Rory and Delanne. We are so blessed in this community, aren't we? Yes. Our music is just amazing. I am so grateful. And yes, Rory, that was very sweet. It was beautiful. But what I know about Rory is he truly is an artist. And it comes out in his music and his words. And I'm just always intrigued by how you come up with these things. It's gorgeous. So thank you for sharing with us. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome. Welcome in, yes. So we've been talking about letting it go this month. And I've been talking about the triple A's of letting it go. And we're on our last A. So what I wanted to do was first remind us all of the other A's that we've gone through. The first A that we talked about was acknowledge. And what we spoke about when it comes to acknowledge is that by acknowledging and admitting the existence or truth in a story, we tell ourselves we can move away from holding on to it. Because sometimes the stories we tell ourselves, there's some truth in them, and sometimes there's a lot of fabrication in them. Things that maybe other people told us about ourselves that we believed. That happened to me. I remember moving around a lot when I was a youngster, and we moved to a new school, and the teachers in the school decided that I was bad at math. And I decided to believe them. And I had to take a test, and I tested really bad, and they put me in this remedial math program. I believed it. I come from a long line of great mathematicians, including my mom, who was a bookkeeper for many, many years. My grandfather that didn't, he maybe graduated like 9th grade or even less than that. But you could say, hey, Zeta, how much is 365 times 12? And he can give you the answer. That's the lineage I come from, but I let a teacher tell me what was my story, and it wasn't true. So we talked about acknowledging these stories so that we could make peace with them and go into the second A. The second A is all about acceptance. Accepting the parts that are true, that have been a part of our journey, a part of our story, and accepting those things that have come from the other people in our lives, from those teachers, from sometimes our family, sometimes our bosses, sometimes our friends, that make up stories about you, but see, you don't have to buy into them. Acceptance is so important. The Buddha said that attachment only leads to suffering. So when we attach ourselves to anything, whether it's a story, whether it's a thing, whether it's a person, when those things don't come to fruition, then we feel pain. Then we suffer. The point I'm making is, it happens to all of us. We form attachments. We are divine beings of light and love living this human existence. And humanity, wow, we are bombarded daily with lots of information. We are bombarded daily with what people think about us. We especially now, these days, with the internet, with social media. I can't even imagine what these beloveds in the front row go through, not just at school, but then it follows them home from school. You can't get away from it. Remember, when we went to school, I'm talking about the mature group in the crowd, all of the rest of us, right? When we went to school, you went to school and you might have had to deal with some bullies or some people that didn't agree with you, but then you went home. You went home with your family who knew who you were, knew who you are, and you can escape it. It's a very different day and age, so we just need to be really conscious about that and love our young ones and let them know how magnificent they are, how bright they are, how they are the creators of their own future. Make sure you tell these three that is the truth. And our other young ones that come in here every week, we need to make sure that they know that they have everything they need at hand. Some of those things that people forgot to tell us when we were growing up. I digress. I wanted to talk about action. That's the last A. So the way I wanted to talk about it was from the perspective of this book that I've been talking about, or getting my inspiration about from this, for this month. Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender by David R. Hawkins. I recommend it highly. One of the things that he says is that there's a map of consciousness. Now, I talk about consciousness all the time from this stage. I talk about it as levels of consciousness, stages of consciousness. Dr. Sue, front side, back side of consciousness. Dr. Hawkins talks about it as a map of consciousness. Now, this is really cool, you guys. This is where science and spirituality come together. He's created a map of consciousness, and he's taken emotions and measured them. I'm talking about scientifically measured them to say the illums of inspiration is 600. The illums of shame are 10. So when you were talking about higher consciousness, this is what I'm talking about. The highest consciousness is enlightenment, pure consciousness, peace and illumination, joy and transfiguration, love and revelation, reason and understanding, acceptance and transcendence, willingness and intention, neutrality and release. Right? This is the highest part of consciousness. These are the places that bring that big energy. Remember, we're energy beings. We are made of energy. We are energy in form. And we have an unlimited potential of energy. But if we're in these lower states, I'm going to say a middle ground is empowerment and courage. You might say, why is that middle? It's because it's more, it's a little less than neutral. You're still kind of hoping, right? You're not quite there. The lower parts of consciousness are pride and inflation, anger and aggression, desire and enslavement, fear and withdrawal, grief and despondency, apathy and despair, guilt and destruction, shame and elimination. I wanted you all to hear this because this is crucial. That when we go into action, we're doing it from the higher realms of consciousness. Who wants to create from fear or shame? Not me. And yet sometimes it happens because I am also a spiritual being living this human existence, and I have to remind myself, wait a minute, that's not how I want to take action. Erase, cancel, let me rethink this, refeel this, and move ahead from that higher realm of consciousness. So, I want to just say one last thing about taking action before we go into some real defined ways of how to take action. And that is, I am always going to step into action. We all step into action in some way, shape, or form. Even if it is diving onto the couch. That's action. And I've been known to dive on the couch. I take my moments when it's time to what I call plop on the couch and just chill, just take it easy, right? Well, I think that we can get to where we're going one step at a time. On a ladder, it's just one step at a time. Swimming, it's one stroke at a time. On my bike, it's one pedal at a time. I can always get to where I'm going one at a time. It doesn't have to be this giant leap. Some people do the giant leap, and that's fine. But I want you to know this because sometimes it looks like there's nothing happening, but there's always something happening. So here's the ways that we can consider taking action and think about action. Now, I keep hearing a radio. Should I start dancing? Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. It was distracting me. I wanted to, go with the music. No worries. So, first of all, I want you to know that action is actually a muscle. It needs to be worked out. It needs to be practiced. And you're right, it's kind of hard to grow your muscles from the couch. Well, I suppose you can. I guess you can, lift your weights while you're sitting there. But you have to practice this. And if you've been not in action on certain things of your life, and things that you've wanted to let go of and now move into new ways, you have to start a little bit at a time. So remember, it's a muscle. The next thing is, if we have something to do, we have an idea or something to accomplish, we won't get it done if we put it on the back burner and say, I'll do it later, or I'll do it tomorrow. I mean, how many of you in the room have had that happen? I have. And then all of a sudden, it's a year later, and you look at that shelf in your garage, and you're like, oh, that's been there for over a year, or that's been there for 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years. When the idea comes forth, you have to take a step. I was watching, was it on YouTube, this gentleman, he was talking about this idea group. And they would come together and they would bring ideas to each other. But what they did was they would actually do it. So they were at this swim party, and they were floating on these swans, white swans in the pool. They're floating around, and one of the guys says, I want a pink flamingo to float on. And so they got on Amazon right away. They got on the web and they said, pink flamingo floaty, and there wasn't anyone. They couldn't find one. So that very day, he got online and he called manufacturers in China and said, hey, I have an idea for a design of a pink flamingo floaty. And he went into action immediately. Here's the bottom line. This man ended up making millions of dollars on pink flamingo floaties, right? Because he went into action immediately. He didn't say, oh, that's a great idea, I'll do it tomorrow. In fact, I was talking to my cousin one day over dinner, and he said, I've got this great idea. And I said, tell me about it. He said, well, you know how you can do Uber and Lyft and things like that? What if you don't have a truck and you're at Home Depot or you're at Costco and you buy something big and you can't get it home? Well, you can just have an app, and you can go to this app, and people with trucks, they'll come over and they'll pick up whatever your purchase is and bring it home. And I said, that's a fantastic idea. He didn't jump on it, and I'm literally, like within weeks, I was online and I see exactly that service. And I texted my cousin Jeff. I said, Jeff, I think you missed it. I think you missed it. So he had this idea, and it was brewing for a long time, and he finally told me about it. And someone else caught that same idea and made it happen. They jumped into action. So, don't wait. We get an idea, it doesn't have to be a giant step. Take at least a little step. The next thing is, just like I described in that map of consciousness, Always take your action from the higher levels of consciousness. Don't do it from being shamed or being in fear. Don't do it because you should or because someone tells you you should. Do it from those places that the energy is flowing. And the last thing, and we talk about this all the time in our community, you want to take action based on your vision. What is your vision? This is what we teach here. Be here on the first Sundays of each month, and you'll learn the visioning process. The vision on your life is not something that comes through your mind. It comes through your heart, your soul. It's what God, Spirit, whatever you call the one, wants you to do in your life. What are you here to do, to be? That is the vision of your life. And folks, it might not be some highfalutin crazy thing. It might just be being there for your neighbors and your loved ones, being there for your parents, being there for your kids, being there to open the door for people that can't open the door for themselves. So take action from your vision. So Azim Jamal said, when in doubt, check in with your actions that they are aligned with your purpose. I believe this wholeheartedly. I know that for myself, the more that I checked in with my vision and listened to the call on my life, things just happened. The groundwork was laid. The money showed up to go to school. The community showed up to call me in. That's how it worked. It wasn't hard. It was just me following my call. It was me saying, yes, that's mine to do. Yes, that's mine to do. So, when I worked with a lot of folks in the Bay Area, with letting it go, and you've heard this story that I did decluttering services for folks. And the people that would call me that were truly spiritually aligned, that it was their time to let go of stuff, it went with ease and grace. In fact, some of the people were from spiritual communities, and before we touched a thing, we would pray first. And that always went very smoothly. Then there were other folks that had to let stuff go, but they didn't really want to. They had a landlord or someone in the family saying, you've got too much stuff. You need to get rid of it. And they were not in alignment with that. So quietly, secretly, I was praying for them to just find the willingness. And sometimes that helped and sometimes it didn't. Because sometimes these people were so in resistance to doing this work that I strong-armed them to getting it done. Like one woman that I worked with had to get it done, other the landlord was going to kick her out of her apartment. We got it done. We got her to pass inspection. But you know what? It just came back. She wasn't really ready for that work to be done. When I'd walk into some of these homes and literally sometimes sideways through the door because you couldn't open the door, I knew that it was more than about the stuff. It wasn't about the stuff. It was about what this person was doing in their life or wasn't doing in their life. That they were listening to their call or they were resisting their call. That's what it was about. It was tough sometimes to see this. But I also saw amazing, miraculous transformations happen. So, I noticed that the people I worked with that were ready, that they found the strength even if they didn't know, and they developed their muscles. Someone that I work with, she told me, she said, you know, now that I've worked with you, I worked with them for a year. She said, I've developed new muscles. And I said, tell me about it. She said, now when mail comes in, because this particular person had, 20 years of mail in one room that we went through. Now that when mail comes in, I take it and I sit down at the kitchen table and I open it up and I sort it. I no longer just stuff it in a room or stuff it in an office. So I know that this stuff works, but you have to practice it. So let's return to week 1 for a moment and acknowledging our stories. Those reasons that we make up so that we can hold on to things. I think now that we're at the end of the A's, hopefully you're ready to let go. And if not, I am not going to judge you. If not, I'm going to pray that you find the willingness to let it go. Whether it's a resentment, a hurt, a drawer full of stuff you never use, a shelf full of things that's just gathering dust, a garage full of clutter so that you can't even park your car in there anymore. Look, I've seen all of that. This is what I want to finish with. The author is unknown. It wasn't noted. There is a period in the life cycle of a monarch butterfly, the pupa stage, that by all outward appearances seems as if nothing at all is happening. At this point, the butterfly is nothing more than an embryonic soup, a fluid-filled sack of cells, but nothing could be further from the truth inside the protective chrysalis. Miracles are taking place. Things are coming together. Tiny cells differentiate into the butterfly's various organs. And the fantastic part is that everything the butterfly needs to transform is already inside the caterpillar. Although they were in their infant stages and dormant, all those specialized cells are inside the caterpillar, waiting for the right time to move into action. We're all butterflies. We're all caterpillars. Let's pray. Let's just take in a nice deep breath. And I am so very grateful for this day. Grateful for this community. Grateful for the teachings of Dr. David Hawkins. Grateful for the Science of Mind teachings. Grateful for this community of friends, friends that have become family, a tribe, a spiritual family. Grateful for this warm summer day and the rains that we've received to give nutrients of moisture to the land, to the trees, to the grass, to the flowers. Grateful. And I'm grateful to know there is only one power, one presence, one love. It doesn't matter what you call it, whether it's God, Allah, Jehovah, Hashem, Yeshua, the way, universe, force, light, love, the divine matrix. Yet only one. It's in and through everything. Every being, every sentient being, every animal, every plant, everything that we see, every color on the rainbow, including the darkness and the bright light, every note that we hear, and every moment in between in the silence. It's even in the hum of that air conditioning. It's just everywhere at every moment of every day. Always present and never absent. So knowing that truth, I know that I am one and the same as the one. That oneness uses my hands, my feet, my voice, my mind. And I know the same truth for everyone within earshot of this prayer, that we are the one, letting God, brilliance, love, light experience itself through our lives, through our joys, through our grief, through all the situations that happen. So knowing that we are one and the same, I see it clearly. That everyone in this room that is in that place of letting go, that it just happens naturally. There's nothing that we have to do because we're in alignment with it. It just lets go of us. And we get to move forward and take our action steps and create this life that is knocking on our hearts and just waiting for us to say yes and to take the first step. That's what I know is happening here. And I know this for our planet. I know that these places that are in war, that they are feeling the peace and love and joy that we radiate, because that radiation is palpable, it's measurable, it's true. So that's what we give out to the world. And as we give those beautiful moments of energy to the world, it feels it. So it's like a warm weighted blanket that we put around our planet. Of course, taking into consideration our own country and what we're going through, the transformation that's happening here, the transformation that's happening right here, not just in our own lives, but in our state and in our world. And I know for those of us in this room that have gone through and are going through different stages of grief, different stages of letting go, that we are not alone. We are never alone. We have each other. We hold each other. We know the truth of who we are as divine beings of light and love. We get to see beyond the story because we know the true pieces and parts of it, and we know the fabricated parts of it, and we've acknowledged it. We've accepted it, and now we've moved on from it. Maybe just a little inch at a time, maybe a big leap at a time. That's what's happening here. That's what I know. And for this, I am truly humbled. I am grateful. I am thankful that before I even started praying, the answer was yes. Yes, my beloved, this and so much more. The answer is always yes. So within this yes, we get to just let it go. Let that butterfly fly, knowing that as it goes out into the world, it comes back in such a beautiful way with purpose and passion and love. Because that's what spiritual law does. As we practice it, as we get strong muscles, we are the creators of our life. So I just let this go. I let it all go. And please, if any of this resonates with you, join me by saying, and so it is. Amen. Ashe.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
So the ushers are getting ready to come through the room with the baskets. And you know what, you guys? When the basket comes by, if you've already given, just put your hand over it and pass it to the next person. but we're coming through. For those of you online, you know how to give. You can text to give. You can scan our QR code. You can send a check by snail mail. But we are grateful. We are grateful. I am grateful that we get to have this beautiful sanctuary. I am grateful that we get to have this wonderful musicians. I am grateful that we get to have classes and events, and that we're here every Sunday. We never miss a beat. That's what I'm grateful for. We couldn't do it without you. We couldn't do it without you. We couldn't do it without you, Becky. We couldn't do it without you, Nancy. Thank you. Thank you, Gail. So let's bless this giving by outstretching our heart through our hands and repeat after me. I am so blessed.
I am so blessed.
We are so blessed.
We are so blessed.
We know
We know
that as we give,
that as we give,
it comes back
it comes back
multiplied abundantly.
multiplied abundantly.
I am so blessed.
I am so blessed.
And so it is. Thank you.
It is.
So now we have Rory back with us again. You know, one thing about him I've noticed is I feel like I always know where I am with you, but you're always kind in letting me know where I am with you. And I'm so grateful for that.
I'm not sure how to respond to that.
He keeps it real.
No, when he corrections, you know.
I do actually have a hand dryer in my bathroom at home. I took it out of the West Jordan Library when the company I was working for was gutting it and rebuilding it. And it's cool. Actually, it's really hot. It smelled kind of funny when I got it. I cleaned it. This is a story about a young woman who was named after a wildflower. And she has lived a traumatic life, an abusive childhood and young adulthood. And her name is Anhedonia. She goes by Annie for short. But here's the dark humor in the song. There's no such wildflower. I made it up. The word anhedonia is a clinical term that means the inability to experience joy. And it's a symptom of a lot of things. We can all get overwhelmed. Maybe we're taking care of somebody who's terminally ill. We get overwhelmed and we shut down so we can get things done, right? But when we live in that state, it becomes anhedonia. And what is a little girl, a young adult, supposed to do to defend themselves against the shame and the fear and the pain? So, anyway, recently she woke up and she was very angry, and that anger empowered her. And she's moving forward and letting go, and we have a front row seat as she steps into her own state of grace. This is called the Anhedonia's There Blooming. Spies a namesake flower in the cut of the road. April into May, the Anhedonias, they are blooming. They turn their yellow petals toward the sun. She wonders how they thrive here as she takes off on a run. They grow amongst the cheap grass in the spring. Some folks call them Annies, or Annie just calls them weeds. She stops and grabs a handful, wipes the dirt off of her knees. She boards the bus to nowhere singing, Daddy, don't you please. She really knows the way around a dream. Times such as these, they leave her wanting. Love's checkered past, ghoulish haunting. Yet she clings to her memories like the winter clings to snow. Safe within her sorrow, she knows that she'll do it again. Gazing through the eyes and glass as a greyhound builds up steam, she sees the world darkly. She got everything she needs. Greyhound bus is moving with the sunrise climbing faster. She's headed down the highway of her next brand new disaster. And she'll do it again and again and again. She really knows her way around a dream. Memories fade and flowers wilt, children grow like weeds. The smart thing or the right thing, did the wrong thing really matter? When she covered up her ears to quell the screams, she wonders how she made it as a flower in the weeds. She really knows the way around a dream. Times such as these, they leave her wanting. Love's checkered past, ghoulish haunting. Yet she clings to her memories like the winter clings to snow. Lost within her sorrow, she knows that she'll do it again. Safely in a window seat, she bids the dawn adieu. Running from the past is all that Annie knows to do. She turns to flash a smile towards the sun. Somewhere in the distance, she knows a new life has begun. She really knows her way around a dream. And she'll do it again and again and again. She really knows her way around a dream, so she does it again.
That's wonderful, Rory. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know there was a word for that, the inability to experience joy.
I heard that word and I thought that can't mean that. It has to be a wildflower.
Yes, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Reverend Cindy. I'm bulldozing my house continually. My husband doesn't say anything because he hasn't noticed a difference yet. Yes, and it's wonderful to see Rick. I invited him to come up. You have one good arm, you could come and direct, but he's going
Tambourine.
to stay there. So let's go ahead and release and let go. Stand up if you choose to. And if you get to take the action to get the body into the memory of that.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. Let it all go. You guys are good. And this is what you got to say.